Hello, beautiful people. The much anticipated, highly requested, long overdue new Outpost Rush map has finally debuted. This weekend, Amazon Gaming treated us to a reward-filled preview weekend where we got to experience the new map and do some live playtesting for them. Even though the map isn't quite ready to be added into the game, it's pretty fully fleshed out content that's already dividing opinions. Pun intended. Some people love it, some people hate it, and a lot of people are just excited to have a new map. So just sit back, relax, maybe grab a snack, and I'll tell you everything you need to know about the Coral Divide. Alright guys, Amazon is not reinventing the wheel with this map. Everything that you expect from Outpost Rush is there. There's 3 capture control points, 2 spawn locations, a corrupted portal, and a barren room. At a macro level, there's nothing shocking or interesting. There's still the same wood to cut, same rocks to mine, and the same creatures to kill. The familiars are also the same. I do want to caveat this video by saying anything could change between now and the time that this map is officially added to the game, whenever that may be. So, what's different then? Well, a lot actually. I mean, visually, this map is stunning. It's obviously set in Cutlass Keys and draws inspiration from the reworked area and the free-for-all PvP zone. I really love this aesthetic. There's piles of gold around the floor in mid, which looks like a reference to the Citadel, and Moon and Star look like they're from the Unbound Island. I personally love the pirate theme, and I think it's very representative of New World at its core. It's new and fresh, but still feels nostalgic somehow. Like when the game came out a few years ago and we were all running around looking like pirates. Or pilgrims or colonial soldiers. I also really love how they've incorporated the beautiful environment into the gameplay. There's been many times where I wished I could climb on a rock in OPR, only to feel triggered by my character running into an invisible wall. In this new map, you can climb pretty much anything that looks like it's climbable. You're free to jump up on the rocks and shoot down at the peasants below you. And that's not it. There's many levels to this new map. The main level, the lower level, and like I said, anything you can climb on. Speaking of levels, Barren is located on the lower level. And something interesting I noticed about this Barren room is that there's a huge impenetrable wall between you and Barren that you have to go around before you can shoot at it. You can't just walk in and line of sight Barren. It looks like they want to stop people from standing outside of Barren and waiting for the enemy team to get it down low, then stepping in and sniping the kill real quick. You can still snipe the kill, but it's going to take a little more effort, and you're less likely to get away. I know that change will make some people happy, but as someone who used to try and snipe the kill for my losing team, curse you, Amazon Gaming. Maybe they are paying attention. Before this preview weekend, Amazon Gaming advertised this map as introducing a brand new PvE element to the game mode. Not only can you build doors of the fort, but you can also build bridges. They made it seem super epic and crucial to gaining an advantage on this map, and a lot of people were honestly worried about PvE becoming even stronger in the PvP game mode. But don't worry, that's not the case. If anything, PvE actually got a much needed nerf. Instead of having 2 doors, each fort in the Coral Divide has 3 doors, which greatly reduces the impact of PvE. It's a lot harder for lumberjacks and construction specialists to hold down a fort repairing doors indefinitely by themselves. A good team with hands and brains, which is admittedly a rarity in OPR, could easily split 3 doors, and more than likely one is going to go down. Unless, of course, the other team has the meta composition of 10 lumberjacks, 7 healers, and 3 500 con tanks. That's a joke, by the way. Kind of. The bridges, for what it's worth, are nice, but they're not nearly as important as they were made out to be. They're just okay. And honestly, I didn't find myself using them as often when playing. I actually had to intentionally run to one to show in the video because they're out of the way unless you've just respawned. There are bridges in the middle of the map that get used a lot, like you see here, but they aren't the ones that we build. There's one bridge that can be built by each of the spawn locations. Speaking of respawning, each spawn now has 3 doors, which reduces the chances of getting spawn camped by the enemy team and gives you more opportunities to go be backcapping rats if you want to extend the game a bit. I mean, I get it. Gotta get your 3K points in at all costs. Because this map has so many nooks and crannies and bridges, I would honestly say that a team is only going to get spawn camped if they want to be. And I mean, sometimes you just want it. Games can be so awfully one-sided that it's just kind of better to let the other team triple cap and spawn camp. GG's go next is essentially the unofficial motto of OPR. In general, one thing I really appreciate about this map is the ability to break the line of sight of the Musket Union aimbots. Target lock-on made OPR disgustingly unfun for anyone not abusing the auto-aim, and because you can roach out in pretty much any direction and hide a lot easier, it's so much more fun again. If I was getting my teeth kicked in, I was able to use movement abilities to get away, and then drop down to another level, run under a bridge, hide behind buildings, and even use rocks to my advantage. And on the lower level, there's even tunnels you can run through to shake the enemy. It is just really nice feeling like if you have the skill to survive, that you can again. I was dodging, ducking, dipping, diving, and dodging to escape people, and the chases were pretty epic. I also appreciated that this map encourages less mega zergy gameplay. Of course we were still zerging, but I noticed a lot more smaller skirmishes and people running around literally everywhere. It's kind of fun to look up and see people fighting on rocks in the air, to look down and see people fighting in the caverns, and just to watch people yeet themselves off of everything. Now, a lot of people do not like this map. Like I said in the intro, opinions seem to be pretty divided. Some players find the map to be jarring in the sense that it's too different from the original map. Some think there's way too many elements. The people who used to camp the ramparts and shoot out are obviously a little annoyed, and others think it's a little too chaotic. I guess I'm just a chaos demon because I thought that was part of why this map is great. I thrive in chaos and I let it fuel me. I like that it feels a little hectic, I enjoy that it's brought back the awesome melee fights, and I like it being a little sweatier. If you've gone all in on a range build, it might not be as effective in the Coral Divide as it is in the regular OPR map, but standing at high points will still allow you to do your dirty work from afar. It's just not as good as it was. But it's also harder for players to get to you if you're high, so it could be an advantage for good players. I know there's a lot of bow users racking up kills still. Speaking of good players, no matter how good the map is, the game mode is still the same in the sense that the teams are often very one-sided, where one team is full of Giga Chads and the other is mostly wet noodles. This means that the core issue with OPR still exists, and honestly, that's not anything a new map was ever going to solve. I will say though that this map does allow the unlucky team to have a better chance at not getting steamrolled in the first 5 minutes, so they can try to scrape together their 3k points. Oh, and just to kind of highlight how lackluster they were, I did forget to mention that there's another bridge you can build that leads to the corrupted portal, but it's also not really worth the materials to build it, since you can just ignore it and go up the side. The bridges were honestly just underwhelming, especially since they were such a main focus of the hype for this map. Overall, I really like the Coral Divide. I think it's a solid map, and I think it's going to be a good addition to the game, but I don't think it's going to turn OPR around or bring back a bunch of players. I don't know what I was expecting in the new OPR map, but I will say that I don't feel disappointed. I had so much fun playing it this weekend, and I can honestly say that it's been a really long time since I've had fun playing OPR. A lot of people are going to disagree, but I think the map was an absolute banger, and it makes me really excited to see what PvP game modes they're cooking up for the future. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you made it this far, leave a dinosaur in the comments. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, but most importantly, be kind to one another. I am, however, trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year, so each and every new subscriber is much appreciated. See you next time, friends!